Good morning guys and welcome back to the channel. What a beautiful morning it is this morning. Go outside let me down once again though. The weather app, it was meant to be foggy, very good chance of that this morning, but what we've got is blue skies. And that has happened to me on numerous occasions, more than I can care to remember, to be honest. But anyway, that is not a problem. I think we do have some atmosphere this morning in this wonderful valley we've got here, which I'm going to be talking a little bit more about in a second. But I want to shoot this composition first. So when I first got out of the car, I wasn't expecting to get an image this morning. I thought, hey, this is just going to be a walk, a bit of a scouting exercise. But actually, where we're situated in this valley, we've got a lot of separation, and then there's a very large distance between what I'm shooting and the background as the valley rises back up again to the horizon. So we've got separation, and that's something I'm always looking for, especially in the woodland. Try to isolate a subject. So what I've gone for here is this wonderful tall oak tree that's positioned in the foreground, but beyond that there's a root system and there's a lot of marshy areas down in the bottom there. There's some beautiful colours there, really cool colours, cool greens. There's some texture and detail beyond my main subject, which is being lit beautifully at the minute by this rising sun that's just creeping over the horizon. So I'm going to pretty much shoot this right now, I think, before I get light, harsh light on my subject here, and it's completely ruins the composition. If you're wondering why I'm kind of cramped over my camera like this, it's because there's quite a steep drop off here, and that is the only position I can put the camera in. So in terms of my camera settings, it's really straightforward. I'm at 1.5 seconds, f11 ISO 160 with a circular polarizer on the front of the lens, and I'm at about 35mm on this Tamron lens here, looking down into the valley. So 2-second timers on, my histogram is looking perfectly balanced, and that circular polarizer is doing a wonderful job of taking the harsh reflections out of this scene. So let's go grab this image now, see if we can find another one before the light gets too harsh. So I managed to come down the valley a little bit further, because as the sun's rising, obviously it's flooding light into the valley floor here. So I've come down a little bit further to get a little bit more shade. Some backlighting as well just going on behind me. So this image here, this area is really quite unusual. There's a lot of oaks and they're incredibly tall. They've obviously trying to climb to the light, and they're very spindly, so it's quite unusual for oaks, the shape and the nature of these ones down here. So yeah, quite interesting. So let me briefly tell you about this area, because when I first moved to Pembrokeshire, which was back in October, I do what most people do when they're new to an area: look on the internet, do a lot of internet searches, grab some guidebooks, take a look, and you kind of gravitate towards those places first, because obviously you know some information about those areas. So that's kind of what I did for the woodlands. I found 2 amazing woodlands that were fairly popular, or definitely had some information about them anyway online, and I visited those locations. And it wasn't until I sat down a few weeks ago, I said to my wife, I'm sure there's something a little bit more local. So I got OS maps out and we started to have a little look and have a little wander and explore, and I found this place, which was completely unexpected. And it's 2 miles from my house, and there's trails right throughout this woodland. There must be around about 10 miles of trails here, all accessible. Absolutely incredible place. It's almost got a tropical feel to it, because we're only a mile or so away from the sea. So I think this could be an absolutely incredible location. I think we'll probably there's a good chance we'll get quite a lot of mist here as well, as the sea mist comes in and wanders up the valley. So obviously there's heaps of woodland here in the UK, but not all of it is, accessible. So yeah, absolutely brilliant to find this place, and walking distance from my house as well. So yeah, absolutely chuffed to bits, to be honest. Oh, these midges have come out now, the sun's rose. Anyway, looking down the valley, and we're quite elevated here from the valley floor. There's this stream that runs through the bottom of it. Just a little babbling brook running through the shingle there, which is quite nice. A lot of trees, very, like I mentioned before, very spindly oaks coming up from the valley floor, striving to reach the light. And where I'm positioned here, I'm positioned in such a way that I'm splitting those trees up, giving them plenty of space in between. And there's an oak right at the background, which is where I want the eye to be drawn through the scene. So yeah, lots going on, but hopefully with a focal point, and I'm positioning that somewhere on the top left-hand third. My biggest concern with this image really is there's a bit of dead space down here on the left, where there's a lot of foliage, a lot of bracken, brambles and ferns, which is not that pleasing really, but maybe that helps guide the eye through from the left-hand side of the frame down the valley and give it a sense of depth. Because it's backlit, it's giving it that ethereal feel. It certainly looks that way on the back of the camera. There's a lot of cool tones to the image as well, which I really like. And the leaves have just got that, hint of backlighting, which is helping to separate them from the background. So I'm selling this image to you, aren't I? I hope it's a worthwhile shot. I'm going to go take another one now, just as this light rises. The more the light rises, the more it backlights the leaves, but I'm just a little bit concerned that the highlights might start to blow as this sun comes up further. Right, f11 ISO 160, 1/3 of a second at about 20 mil, fully polarized, 2-second timer. Yes, I think that's a nice shot. Wow, wonder if we're going to get another image today. Time will tell, but what I'd like to do is show you a composition, 2 oak trees just down here, that I'm definitely going to come back to in the future when it's foggy and backlit, because I think that could be a really cool shot. Don't think we'll shoot it today, but it's worth looking at. Right, let's get down there. So we're down at the bottom of this trail now, which is directly down in the valley floor where we were just taking that last photograph. And I just want to show you a couple of compositions that might work. So if I'm very careful, yes, right directly in front of me here, there's a couple of oak trees with this really tall, slender ash with these vines that creep up it. I think this could work really well with fog and backlighting. There's this wonderful babbling brook here with these ferns and overhanging branches, which might look quite nice. If I spin round the other way, wander up here, this is all in the space of a few meters. We've got what looks like nothing right behind me now, but this will be, when it's flood season, a fantastic cascade, I think. And I've got this deadfall in the foreground here, which may or may not work in the composition, but that might even get washed away as the floods come through. But we've got all these rock slabs here, which looks like it could be a fantastic little waterfall with these ferns dotted around in the foreground. So yeah, if you're ever struggling with your landscape photography and you're wondering, perhaps why you're not getting the images you hope for, my advice would be just to get out and look. Like, scouting is such an underrated part, I think, of landscape photography. You've got to get out and look, just keep walking, and you'll find stuff. Like, there's 3 shots here that don't work today, but for sure in the right conditions they will definitely be an image here. And this is all in the space of, like I said, 10 meters or so. So yeah, fantastic. Anyway guys, I think it's time for me to grab a coffee and just wander back down the trail to see if there's anything else worth shooting. Oh, what a morning, absolutely gorgeous. This place is just incredible. Like I mentioned before, completely unexpected. Didn't know this place existed. And I haven't seen a single soul this morning either, so it's obviously not a very popular location either. Maybe just the odd local dog walker. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. So I don't anticipate capturing another image this morning. We're quite near the summer solstice. And this time of the year, even though I was here at 5:30 this morning, the sun now 8 o'clock is almost right above us. It's just starting to fill the valley floor. It's really challenging photographing the woodland this time of year when we don't get that diffusion of fog. But yeah, nonetheless, fantastic. And we'll continue to scout, looking for more locations that I can come back to. So do expect plenty more content from this amazing location. Also, a couple of other things I want to talk about as well. I'm thinking about experimenting with YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels. They're becoming more and more popular, and I'm told that these platforms are going to be pushing more short form content. So I'm going to be experimenting with that a little bit. Now, it's not going to change anything what I do here. My long form content like these videos will continue every other week. But what I might try and do is, fill in the gaps with some short form content. So 60-second videos where maybe I go out, take an image of a sunset, for example, and just show my process in 60 seconds and the image, just a quick fire video. So I think that might be quite cool. I've also bought a new camera as well. I'm not going to talk too much about that yet because I'm still testing it, still playing around with it, seeing how I get on with it. But that will be featuring on the channel in the coming months, I'm going to say, not weeks, months. So look out for that, hopefully some interesting content. So I think that wraps the vlog up today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate your time. As always, please hit the thumbs up if you enjoy the content. Subscribe if you've not done so already. And if you really want to help me out, please do consider checking out my online photography club, the Photographers Clubhouse, where we learn, share and inspire one another, create amazing photographs, take part in monthly challenges and watch all of my monthly videos over there too. So until next time, guys, take care and I will see you soon.